hopefully, in that wreck, so our prayers are with them, hope they're good.
You pulled it from it with
Yeah.
his feet, get him out of there.
First thing we do is call meeting to order, which we did, and we have our pledge of allegiance for our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, that brings us to our reports. Police report comes first, but he's busy right now outside, so he was here, but he's busy.
He's working.
He's working.
He did get together a report and placed it in each of you guys' spots, so you do have a report from him. You also have one from Sarah at the senior center, so should have both of those. They just didn't give to me in time on Friday to put in the packets.
You guys need a moment to look at those reports, or that police report, or all good? All right. That brings us to code enforcement. I think his report's in the packet.
It is.
Council has any questions on that, I'll try to answer. We're working on some of the same things you've been working on. We've, as part of our code enforcement, we've been tearing down that house on what I call Short Maple. I can't remember the exact address, that burnout house over there. And tearing it down, we've got it torn down the whole way now. And that lot looks a lot better. We'll polish it up a little more when we get into the spring. And he's been working on some other things. Our city council, city attorney, Elizabeth Teal's been working with some others on some properties here in town that I think have been of interest to the council. If you have any questions on that property and those two different ones, you could ask Elizabeth, and she'll kind of tell you where you're at. She may not want to talk about it out there, though. You could ask her.
I see here on 236, it just says civil fine is closed. Is that closed, or are we still?
That one over on Walnut?
Yeah.
No. Civil fine, I guess if it says closed, that means they can't even pay that one. But they'll be issued another.
So she is working with us. She is coming in and paying on it. So, and I think they've been working on it a little bit. So it's ongoing, but it's not like a no answer, no response, anything.
I will speak for Ed a little bit because he and I are working together on this, obviously. But we're trying to be as considerate as we can of their resources, and as long as we can see progress week to week, that we would try to work with them. We weren't seeing progress, so we found again. Now, if that stimulates them to do what they need to do, then hopefully it will. Does that answer the question?
Yeah. And on the opposite corner, I think it's 308. There's a big brush pile that's on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
And I know there's some issues going on with it and stuff. If we can get that cleaned up.
There he is.
We did motion for the city to get it cleaned up so that sidewalk will be open. And
We, being on the sidewalk is the biggest problem, and this is how trivial people get sometimes. Ask me if they moved it off the sidewalk, would it still be a problem? And I said, yes. You know, that's just how trivial people get sometimes. Move the mess from one spot to the other, just leave. But anyway, we're working with them as well, Jeff. It's been complicated there. But we're at the point where we're going to have to move through property code enforcement office, my opinion.
in 216, Maple.
Well,
a lot of vinyl.
I can tell you what Ed was told when he approached him the first time. But that's all the knowledge I have to give you, is he approached him the first time, they said no one was living there, they just had something out there to keep it from freezing and all that. Ed's been monitoring, but it appears like that's not true, so we're more than likely have to move through our legal counsel to approach that one in a different way. It's against the ordinances for that, so. Anything else on code enforcement? All right, move to the fire department. Did the hose testing, was it all of it, rural and city?
Yeah, I think they
They
did
did it all, didn't
Yeah.
they? Yeah. I think they did all the hose testing this last month, and, pump testing too, I believe. If I remember right, on all the trucks and pumpers. And, everything's looking good. They've been working on some of the little minor leaks, things like that on the trucks, it's always there. Getting them up in pretty good shape. I think there's still one leaking a little bit, but they've been up in real good shape. When I say leak, you know, it's a drip leak, you know, like in the building, you know, just kind of irritates you, that's all it is, you know. Little puddle of water there in the building.
Problems is like, if they don't get used quite often, those seals dry out.
Is that what happens? The seals and O-rings dry out on the pumps and stuff? All right, any questions on the fire department? Building's in good shape. As far as I know, we're in good shape down there right now. Water and sewer, they're taking advantage of the pretty weather this week. And, during the holidays, we had a couple pretty good weeks. They worked on those, but we did a couple of water taps last week in between the holidays, and a sewer tap, working on a sewer tap down at, we're not done with it, down on Spring Street for the U4 place. And then tomorrow they're doing the house on Bel Air, sewer and water tap, and then they've got another one they're doing later in the week. And then they did some 2 weeks ago out on Peterson for those houses. So they've been pretty busy trying to work in the pretty weather, get their underground work done, so.
I guess the one on Bel Air is the one that the zoning board very recently
Yes.
approved. Okay, good. We can go moving forward.
Yeah, they're gonna do that tomorrow, unless the creeks get high. Streets and sidewalks, hadn't been much activity. We've been trying to trim some of the low hanging limbs. Had a day that we worked on that. We still got more to do, low hanging limbs over the sidewalks that I mentioned to them over on Walnut, us doing some cleanup there, but I'm probably gonna maybe get code enforcement involved in that because of the way they behave. But, had they been a little nicer, a little more. Just a little bit more, you know, reasonable, probably would have helped them out a little bit though.
I seen where they power wash
I'm sorry?
power wash the sidewalk, the storefront over here, behind Auburn grocery store.
Yes.
It looks a lot better, it was like, had like the green stuff, it was.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
It was really slick.
Yeah.
I used to live over there and I have personally eaten it on that sidewalk.
Those brick walls, they're original sanded brick, you know, and
Yes.
they just actually attract mold. We've tried some different products on it, some green products that aren't supposed to be, you know, they're supposed to be eco-friendly. Some of them work for a little while, but they don't work very long.
It just doesn't get much sun over there.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Well, I used to think that the problem was that it would grow where there was no sun. The moss growing, it grows where the sun is better. And I don't understand that, but anyway, I guess I just didn't know enough about plants to understand it. But anyway, it seems to grow better where those overhangs have fallen off, you know, down through that. And in front of the old bank where Maggie said she used to live there.
Yeah.
It grows really well there. And kind of
It's slick.
Then, anything else on streets and sidewalks? We're in the process, you know, our next phase, we talked about in the last year's budget workshop. Our next phase of walkability sidewalks, you know, making our city more walkable, from the new part to the old part to the part everywhere, you know, making it more walkable and safely. Which the one on 103, you know, was the big one, right? Getting that done, out to Sugar Maple. The next phase that we talked about in our budget workshop was actually starting there at that walk where it ends at front of Casey's there, and going down Sugar Maple in front of all the stores, and making that safely walkable down through there, not at the end of the street. And McGee Engineering finished the design layout on it, and we just sent it in to apply for that project. So just wanted to let you know the application's out there. Whether we're successful this year or not, you know, we'll keep, like we always do, we'll keep trying to find money, right? You know, so we want to let you know we applied for that. The park, been pretty quiet. We've tried to do cleanup down there this week, so, and we'll continue that. It's 3 days. We had stuff kind of, can't really see it, it's behind that little fenced-in compound, but, and in that blue building and in their water plant building. And then, you know, our stuff accumulates and gets piled up on you, whatever, over a period of time. That's what happened, and we're hauling some stuff up to the transfer station, and also get rid of some of the things in other ways as best we can.
On the dog park,
Uh-huh.
I'd like to, I don't know if I need to make a motion or I think they're like right at $400 for 2 solar lights.
You can do it either way, Jeff. You can make a motion, but it's in the budget, so if you just want to recommend it, the council's good with it, we're good. So.
I'd like to get those put up till we get that other permanent work done. And get some kind of light, it won't light up the whole thing, but it'll give enough light that they go down there at 8 o'clock at night.
There's what he's talking about is a couple of solar lights that'll help a little bit. We can't put wired lights on those poles that light the football field. Or 80 volt lights come on top, right? There's not a permanent power source there. So these lights would be easy to mount, like Jeff brought up and said. Easy to mount, easy to put up, they're solar. They'll be better than nothing else. Even if they come on in dark, they'll last till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning when people are done bringing their dogs down there. But it's not gonna light it up real well, but like Jeff brought up, it'll light it up enough where you can see it walk safely out there. And then, of course, we have all the materials to put nice permanent lights out in the middle of the dog park. However, weather is sometimes not very cooperative this time of year, so it might delay our schedule. And Jeff also brought up a good point. These 2 lights are just found on the side of the pole. Once we have our permanent lights up, we take them down easily and move them somewhere where we have no problem area, so they won't be wasted. And they're not real expensive. Put them up and everything, you know, $300 a piece, something like that. You know, so.
Did you make a motion?
And I'll make a motion to get 2 solar lights.
I'll second.
Got a motion to second. Any more discussion? All in favor? Let's do a roll call. I like the roll
Paul Tisdale,
Yes, ma'am.
Peggy Thomas,
Yes.
Brett Simmons,
Yes.
Travis Fuller,
Yes.
Jeff Griffin.
Yes.
All right.
You wanna just send me the link or?
Rhonda is with a friend of hers that has a very sick husband in New Mexico. And couldn't be here tonight, so that's the reason she's not here. But keep that person in your prayers. I think it's a pretty close friend of hers. But she gave me a brief update, and basically what it said was, thank God there's not much going on this month. And so on tourism. So basically, this was a long month anyway, so it's pretty convenient for tourism folks. The only other thing, I guess, on tourism, guess I'll bring it up under tourism instead of new business or whatever, but we have a tentative closing date sometime probably the last of February, you know, I don't know, it depends on when the tenant gets completely out, the current tenant at the Hopewell station. So we have a tentative closing date, I think, did you say prior to March sixth or March something?
Yeah, we put an early March date in there.
Yeah,
I think it was March 2nd.
March second, that's it, prior to March second, but I guess anytime, the tenant had till 15th of February to get out, so sometime between that time frame, we'll probably be trying to get Elizabeth to get it closed as soon as she can.
We have, I sent that contract today, so it's not technically signed yet, but I think that's what has been discussed, so.
So we hopefully have a contract signed there in a few days. Anything else on tourism anybody wants to bring up?
She did post on the Facebook that there will not be a January tourism meeting, so no regularly scheduled meeting for those that usually come on the Tuesday after council for that meeting. They're gonna skip and they'll pick back up in February.
Economic development, we're getting through some of the hurdles to try to, I think I told y'all last month maybe about working through the PDI, which is really the governor's economic development cabinet, working through PDI to try to get our feasibility study done for our new property development out there. So I wanted you to know I hadn't forgot about it. I'm still working on it, but everybody's gone for the holidays up there, off and on, kind of slow time, but we'll get fired back up on it this month. Just wanted to let you know I was working on it. Anybody else have anything on that? Say on the economic development? All right. Any questions? All right, that brings us to the senior center. It's going along good. It was rented a lot during this last month, December. I mean, a lot. But everything went well. It's still looking good and holding up good. The new paint job, I've had several people brag on that paint job we put on there about a year ago. It really does look good. But, so everything's in pretty good shape down there, I believe.
Any pushback on the price change much?
No.
Some from some of our people that planned way ahead of time. We have some that book it for Thanksgiving, around Thanksgiving and Christmas every year. We did have some pushback from that because they didn't realize it was this year because they had booked it last year for this year. But not a whole lot. People are mostly understanding that, well, you know, prices of everything are going up, so nobody terribly upset.
That's the same price we had 13 years ago.
Right.
That price has not changed in 13 years. That's a long time.
Yeah, a long time.
You know what I mean, the original price, the 150, that's what it was 13 years ago.
I would say too, with the deposit and the rental fee being the same amount, has been a lot easier for people to keep track of, where they pay their $175 to hold their spot, and then 2 weeks ahead, they pay their $175 rental fee, and then after they get half of it back. I think a lot of people have been able to keep track of that a lot easier than it being a different amount, and they're like, but I thought that it was $150 back, I guess, the rental fee, and so just, I think it has minimized confusion, which has been nice.
And you know, even if we have to incur, another price increase, we can still do the same because the deposit probably needs to come up too. You know what I'm saying, at that same time, whenever that is, whenever the council chooses. Anything else on the senior center? Has anyone been down there and seen anything that needs to be done that I haven't noticed or staff?
I went down Thursday, Wayne had a Bible study on the second Thursday.
That's a big crowd, wasn't it? I saw that crowd.
Yeah, that was a good crowd, and for lunch, she just had 3 people.
She had what?
She just had 3 people to serve for lunch.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was.
Nobody's staying for the food. And I've talked to Brad about it, I've talked to him, I've tried to. They go to the things that we have, there were probably, 35 people at that Bible study?
No, there's quite.
Or more. 3 people stayed, and it's due to the quality of the food.
Right.
It's,
But that's all through the contract that Brad's fulfilling, right?
and Brad has taken over, it used to be community action,
And
right?
that just happened this
This year,
well, in
This year.
July,
That's
right?
right, in
This
July.
year,
But it's the same food, same
yeah.
preparation, same,
What is it, finger food or something like that?
it's,
No,
It's like
it's,
the pre-packed little, what is that stuff called, styrofoam boxes, to-go boxes.
well, they had, food in little, stainless steel trays, you know, like on,
serve it out of it.
Okay, so they were serving it.
It's just, the food is not seasoned, it's bland, it's designed to be healthy for older people. And to be honest with you, I am an older people, and I don't want to be healthy, I want to eat.
They're going back, they're following the cafeteria rules, probably.
All of them. All
Well, I mean, I think the important thing about that is that that's not, the city's providing that, but Brad is the one that's providing the food. I mean, it's providing the center, but the city's not preparing that food, that's contracted out.
of them. You know, I probably should present that to the council in some written form. Not tonight, but we have a hybrid situation in Auburn. It's not, it's unique to us, right, with Brad. We had the same situation with community action when they ran it. We don't have the traditional senior center. I said, we wanted a senior center, and then we wanted to be able to use it as a community center whenever we wanted to. In order to do that, we had to have a hybrid agreement. And so we basically designed a hybrid agreement with Brad. And we pay for certain services that a lot of cities don't pay for, that are in counties with their senior centers. Simply because we want to be able to control it all the other time when it's not used as a senior center. So,
Most places, Brad is servicing everything that the senior center provides to the community or to the city. So here, I think Brad's basically just doing the meals, is that fair?
well, we participate in like if they offer a weight program.
Yeah, so
that
different,
type of thing.
yeah.
We still participate in all those programs at the same cost as the other senior centers have to pay, like a little fee, whatever, sometimes free. But at the same time, there's certain things we pay for that they don't pay all of it, like the senior center director's salary, things like that.
Well, and some of Sarah's activities that she plans herself.
That's right. See,
Yeah,
Sarah
and
plans a
you
lot
all
of stuff.
can provide that, facility for other purposes, whereas other places aren't able to do that.
Well, and it's odd enough, the days that we fix our own food, we have as many as 30 people eat, like on
yeah,
bingo.
People love the potluck
We have
days.
30 or 40 people stay to eat and play bingo. So it tells me that and we're working on this, we've been working on it about a year during this transition with Brad, to try and figure out a way that works for us best here. I think, I kind of understood maybe in the last 9 months or so that we're gonna have to operate here in a unique way. And that's just the way it is. If we need to have another potluck day during the thing, or have us 2 soup day, right? You know, I think that would go over good for us. And it's not very expensive either. We may end up doing that to get more involved. So I think during our workshop, in March, maybe I can have some better information for the council to look at. And I don't think it'll increase our budget much, maybe not. But I think we could probably look at some alternatives here that might increase participation in our community.
if I'm not mistaken, the 3 people that ate came in, they weren't there for the Bible study, they just came to eat.
It's a unique situation.
Yeah, it is.
And people, my mother, she acts like a volunteer down there, and she's 9, but she don't want to be known as a patron, she wants to be known as a volunteer, so that's just the way people have evolved over the years, right? Is anything else on the senior center? Well, Maggie, remind me, put that on the budget workshop sheet. We got a running list of stuff we might have to allocate a little more time for this workshop than we have in the past. The cemetery, they, spent some time last week out there, a couple of days, cleaning up all the wreaths, for those live wreaths from Wreaths Across America. We had to clean all that up and get our little stands put back, stored away for next year. It was a very big success. Laura Dolworth, I have to give her credit, even though she was out on some medical issues, she was out there, she shouldn't have been, trying to make sure everything went right. But that's how dedicated she is. And she does a great job. Was it 315?
I think it was 330 total wreaths, but some of those are for
10.
the,
10 of them go down. Was it
Little
10,
fenced in
10 ranch go around the memorial?
21, should be 21.
21 go around the
Around the
memorial.
fence,
So we had about 310 placed on graves, on veterans' graves, and it's a very moving service for me when I'm placing those wreaths. You know what I'm saying? It just means something to me. I don't know. I can't explain it, but it means something to me. And it's a service worth attending. Wasn't a very pretty day, but it's a service worth attending if you got time. But
it was cold that day.
it was cold. But we started out at about 226, if I remember the first year, 226, I believe, that we had identified veterans' graves. And through the hard work of our mapping behind us and Laura Dolworth working together, and our staff working with them too, they've identified that many more. We're at 310 now. And I don't know how many we'll be at next year. There'll be more. So we're identifying more all the time that we're veterans. So we're trying to help get their markers put in too as well. So they've done a great job. And the cemetery looks good. It's dormant right now, but it looks good. We had those trees removed that were damaging our rock wall at the cemetery. Those two trees that had grown under the rock wall and making it lean out. We had those removed. Reluctantly, they were pretty trees, but they were in the wrong spot. They were damaging our wall. See anything else on the cemetery? All right, that brings us to the minutes of the December 15th, 2025 special call meeting. If y'all had a chance to look at those minutes, and if so, we'll entertain a motion to approve.
Make a motion, we accept.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on it? Hearing none, roll call please.
Paul Tisdale,
Yes, ma'am.
Peggy Thomas,
Yes.
Rick Simmons,
Yes.
Travis Fuller,
Yes.
Jeff Green.
Yes.
Brings us to the financial report. With Miss Maggie Hines, she's gonna give us an update. She's working through our software issues. She's
Yes,
sort of getting there.
we have made some progress. We were in and out a lot, in December and in early January. So, but we did get September reconciled, and I have presented that in you guys' packets. Our goal, again, I think I said this last month, is to be completely back up to date by the end of the first quarter. I'm hoping, maybe even by next month, but I won't swear. Because we really, obviously need to get back up to date and know where we stand for the budget workshop, and to see kind of what our actuals were so far this year, so you guys can get an idea of what we want to do for next year and things like that. So that is still the goal. So you do have September, revenue reports and expense reports and all those good things. And if ever there's a month that we haven't gotten to yet that you have a specific question on, I can probably answer it. It's just getting those bank reconciliations in the software done, to reflect the right budgetary numbers and things like that. But if there's a question on an expense or something like that, I can probably answer it. It's just the reporting. That's just kind of a pain getting through all of those reconciliations on. So you guys have September. As for December, to get back, in the current, Heather did prepare us just from the bank statements, our balances for the end of the month, as of December. So for our city account, at the end of December, we had $1,759,060.01. Water and sewer accounts, $1,551,603.13, for a grand total of $3,310,663.14. And I hope to have much more, for you guys next month.
Most of the problem, now it's the networking of the computers and everything, is that?
It had to do with, at the end of the fiscal year last year, the software you have to process the year end, the fiscal year, in the summer, and it went absolutely haywire this year, and it sent a lot of our numbers to crazy amounts, and so Heather and I had to go through every single transaction, to reconcile. Typically, it's just, marking checks cash and entering, like interest receipts and things like that we can't really do throughout the month, until we figure out what those amounts are gonna be. But since it went haywire when we processed the year end, we've had to do a lot more in-depth reconciliation. But once we get it back up to date, I think we'll be all right. And like we discussed before, we are looking at a whole new software anyway, so I'm hoping that we can kind of jump ship before this gets too terribly painful. But yeah, the goal is still to be caught up next month with it.
As you can see in your packets, I'm sorry y'all can't see it, but as you can see in your packets, this much of that packet is pretty much the September financial.
Yeah.
That much, every one of those data entries, they have to go through and at least manually check, because to make sure they fed into the right account, right? And there's a lot of other sub-accounts and different things that they have to check on top of that, just to give you some perspective of what that is. It's not the old days where you had like one account, a few checks each month, right? It's not like that. It's different. So, it's really good until it doesn't work correctly.
Right.
It's really, really good, right up to that point.
Until you have to fight it.
You remember when Glenn Sam and Malone used to do all that?
That's exactly right.
I cannot believe she did that.
Well,
At our age, still at the
yeah.
same time, you know?
We had about 500 water accounts back then, the best I can tell.
Yeah, find that thing.
And that was the biggest thing she did every month. They might write 6 or 8 checks,
Yeah.
10 checks, and then she had all the water stuff bills to take care of. That was her biggest deal. But she was by herself, and she graceful. She'd have to sit and write those, and then Ruth Shipper did it for a long time. And then they bought their first software program after Ruth had been there, Becca came in. I look back in those boxes of those cards, that we still got some of them from the old days.
That's amazing.
Those little water stuff cards. She had the prettiest handwriting I believe I've ever seen. People back then could really write. Boy, I mean, it was beautiful handwriting.
That was back in the day, Maggie had to clock in at the plant too.
Ain't no fun.
There's one by the back door.
It makes a funny sound.
Yeah.
You're right, down at the water plant.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any questions on that? Maybe you get through where you need to get through.
Yes, sir.
Does anyone have any questions on that or financial report? All right. We need to move to accept those September financials.
Only if you want to. They approve the bills payable as we go along. The bills payable report is not affected.
I got it.
So as long as you guys are, unless you have any questions.
Yeah, got it. So let's do bills payable next. If y'all have a chance to look at those December account headings and all that, so if you've got an opportunity to appreciate the motion to accept the bills payable.
I'll make a motion to pay the bills. Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion from the council on bills payable? Hearing none, roll call please.
Todd Still,
Yes, ma'am.
Peggy Thomas,
Yes.
Greg Evans,
Yes.
Travis Fuller,
Yes.
Jeff Gregory.
Yes.
Ordinances, there are none tonight, and resolutions, there are none, and municipal orders, there are none. How did you work that out?
Christmas bonus.
She usually has at least one of those to do it, right? At least one. All right, that brings us to the council. That you were, I think we took care of the lighting already. That was the only one I knew of. All right, no new business. That brings us to public comments. Is there any public comments tonight? All right, hearing none, that brings us to the adjournment. I'll entertain a motion to do that.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second. Got a motion and a second. All in favor? Opposed, like sign? There it is.
That's a word of all the cookies, you know. And
Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. Appreciate it.